My name is Richard Sywink. I'm a student here at Carleton University. I was in the AESP program, which is the Aboriginal Enriched Support Program, for my first year and my second year. It was a very important transitional time for me to get back into the academic world. I have since continued here at Carleton as a history honor student with an Indigenous Studies as a minor. My actual goal is to do a double major and include Canadian Studies with that also. I was in the construction field before, and for medical reasons I had to change my career. The AESP program made that possible for me. The cultural liaison that introduced me to the AESP program, speaking of Patricia Reynolds, without her help, introduced me to the program and getting me set up. I never would have gotten myself into university because I felt it was out of my reach. My first year was very important, along with the introduction of university life, university studying. It introduced me to how to conduct myself with my home life, to reorganize myself, because when you're at home now you have to study. Well, my first year, it was the first year seminar program. And it was a very intense First Nations history course. They also give you 2 electives, and the workshops, they are what help you to study, give you the study skills to continue after your AESP years. I chose history and Indigenous Studies because my background as a First Nations person, I found that my history has a very interesting background, and I felt that learning my own history, or learning how to learn my own history through the schools, the university's history program, and combine it with the Indigenous Studies, I would be able to find my history. And by finding my history, I'll also be able to find other First Nations history. I find this very important because a lot of our history is lost. I didn't know what I really wanted to do when I first came into the program, and the first year seminar actually did kind of guide me into the zone of history. It also kind of guided me into the Indigenous Studies. The Indigenous Studies helps you to learn more of what it is to be a First Nations person, more in the contemporary world. It introduces you to what other First Nations people are doing in the political field, in the health field, well, maybe in the academic field too. Where I see myself going eventually is to find the history out that I want, possibly writing a history book on it, getting a teaching degree, and then possibly teaching history from a First Nations perspective. I strongly recommend all First Nations students to try university life, to try AESP. If they think it is too hard, then they just have to look at me. I'm a very mature student. I'm not going to give my age out. It's really, really a lot easier than you think. Course program includes like peer tutors, interactive workshops, one-on-one peer mentoring. The instructors are really, really helpful. And once you get started, you find it's actually quite easy. So I strongly recommend all other First Nation students to at least try.